Hey, what's up? It's Corey. This is Reedy River Goods is my channel. I am a leather worker, leather crafter, leather smith. Now that is a term I like. Tonight, first off, if you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. If you have, I appreciate you coming back. It turns out, some analytics, there's quite a few new folks, and I forget about that. So I just go on talking like, for some reason, we know each other when I'm just talking into my camera. But I appreciate you coming by. The reason I got this started is 6 years ago when I started into leather work, I had a hard time finding. I saw everyone doing all the really cool stuff with all the really cool machines, with all the really cool tools, and I didn't have that. I loved watching their videos, but I didn't have it. And so I wanted to kind of create something to help folks that are just getting started into it or interested in it. So a lot of my channel is trial and error. I love making mistakes because I can learn from them. And today is exactly that. So this is a little special one for me. My 9-year-old son is turning 10. And I thought it was time for, obviously, a pocket knife, multi-tool. I thought that would be kind of cool. And so naturally, I'm gonna have to make a sheath for it, and I want to engrave it with something cool for him. But I've been looking into doing a wet mold for leather, and I've never tried it before. I always thought it looked awesome, but I thought maybe it was too difficult, so I never really looked into it. So the more I've been looking into it, it seems relatively easy, and it really has a cool kind of end product. So I'm going to try to design something today for his multi-tool for his birthday, and we're just going to try it out. If it comes out terrible, he can tell me it, and I'll make him another one. But we're going to try it out today. I have, don't tell him, but I just had some scrap veg stand laying around. I've been toting this around. It's been a hot minute. I mean, it's been a couple of years. So I'm actually glad I'm gonna get to use this. It looks really cool. It already kind of has a nice soft feel to it. But once I get it in this water and try to mold it around, I'm excited to kind of see what it does. So to start, what I have, so I do some shoe craft as well. So I have some little nails and some hammer pliers here. And then I just have a piece of cedar, which is what I put up in my attic here in my office to cover my ceiling on part of it. And so I'm gonna mold it down to this. But yeah, I'm just gonna try it out. I don't have a pattern. I'm just gonna make it up as I go. So we can learn together. But hopefully this will be good. And like I said, it seemed relatively easy. And so I'm excited to kind of see how it does. And if it works well and I'm pretty good at it, then I got about 4 or 5 more projects that I'm eyeballing to get going. So so yeah, here we go. Let's try it out. Let's learn something new. All right, so I got just a pan of water here, and I'm just gonna take this. There's nothing straight, nothing pretty. This is just a piece that I was looking at that would fit over. Let's show you here. That I would fit over. I'm going to do. So this will be the top because it's wider. So I wouldn't be able to pull it out otherwise. So I'm basically wanted a piece that I could cover from here. Lord, get it in the camera. Cover from here and then work down. So this might even be a little bit too big, but I'm okay with that. So I'm probably gonna carry it, let's see. I'm gonna carry it to the top of these two triangles right here. And that'll give us a nice steady thing. And then what I'm gonna do is actually attach it to something that has and come snap. I'm gonna put a little button snap right here. But yeah, this is just a vegetable tan leather. It is a 5.5, 6.5 ounce. But it's much softer than most I would do. I'm just gonna throw it in the water and we're gonna see what happens. Let it get it's probably in a big enough bucket here. Let me see, if I see bubbles, that means air is still in there and the water's replacing it. So as long as I see bubbles. Oh, you can hear it. Oh, shoot. Almost sounds like soda. You can hear it bubbling. I don't know if you can see it, but you can hear it. Yeah, I don't know. But there's some bubbles on the side here. So that lets me know. I'm going to get this thing soaked up good. Let's see. I don't know if you're supposed to leave it for plenty amount of time. This feels like it'd be very pliable at this point. because it's completely saturated. It looks kind of awesome too when it's soaking wet like that. Gives it a cool color. All right. Just gonna let that sit for a minute, and then what I'll do is I'll pat it dry. Let me see, should I cover that? I've seen people cover their utensils here. It is metal, but just some saran wrap or something like that, some plastic wrap. Saran wrap, that's a good Lord, that's such an old, outdated reference. But I'm not gonna do that for today. I feel pretty good about it. But anyway, I'm gonna let this, I don't want it to be dripping when I put it on there, but let's see. Good Lord, that towel. Not the cleanest towel. All right, so I'm gonna get this out of here. Oh yeah, I think I'd be able to mold this already. So the action is when it dries. Oh man, you can see it just, that's kind of cool. I'm just gonna kind of let it drip here, pat it dry. And then let's get to work. Get my water out of the way because I know I'll spill that. Just gonna kind of get the standing water off of it. Might be worth, if this thing rusts in a week, it'll be my fault, and I'll make sure I put plastic wrap over it, but all right, let's give it a whirl. Now, what I'm gonna do is basically nail it down to this so it stays in its form, and yeah, I'll cut it all after. I actually got a pretty straight edge there anyway, I might work off of. But what I'm gonna crease it with is just this little edge. What the heck am I talking about? I can kind of use it as a bone creaser here, but I'll use this edge to kind of work in really good and really try to get some good definition in there. All right, let's give it a whirl here. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna go right to the top here. There's some locking mechanisms, so I don't want to mess with those. So I'm gonna go, and I don't honestly think it has to be perfect now. All right, let's see. Darn. That water does work, doesn't it? Oh, geez, I'm already getting some good definition in there. All right, so what I might do here is pin these two sides down to give me some stability in there so I can kind of work this bottom part. But the knife or the pocket little clip is on the back, so it's a little bit uneven, which I don't like, but I think we'll be able to work around it. So I'm gonna tack these down. Now, I don't wanna come and tack too close because I wanna, be able to work this in here as I'm going to really get a good bend for it. And actually I'm gonna cut it as well. So I wanna make sure that I keep enough leather on the sides here and enough distance between my nails where I can still cut a clean line later and then be able to stitch in there and get it tacked onto my little back panel. Oh good, I knew I was gonna spill those. But yeah, even leaving it now, it's already kind of forming in there. So I'm gonna come out maybe, what's that, like 1 inch and some change. It seems like the wimpiest hammer, but yeah, there we go. All right, come on here. Good thing about cedar too, it is a soft wood. All right, so let's see if I can get some form in here. So now I want to get this bottom part tacked down so I can really start working on the edges. Again, I'm going to come out maybe 1.5 inches. See how far that is. I'm saying 1.5 inches. Shoot. Been lying all my life. You know you have to. Quit playing. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Good night. You know it right at 1 inch. Oh man, that was too perfect. All right, let's get that bottom part. Man, it's amazing how flexible it gets, especially for some vegetable tan leather. Not used to it reacting like that. All right, so I'm just gonna keep working this around. I never saw myself doing anything with wet molding, but man, I'm starting to like it. I really hope it works out and it comes out nicely, because I got so many things planned out to make a mold around. And you know, in leather craft, there's so much you can do. So many different projects you can do with wet mold like this. This is just one I thought would be pretty cool, and I'm sure my little guy would appreciate it. As a little birthday gift. But I'm just gonna keep working this. I'm gonna go back every, basically what I've been researching is every 10 minutes or so, kind of go back and work it another, you know, keep stretching it, keep flexing on it and pulling down and get this leather to form. You can see the definition. I think that's amazing already right there. And then as it dries, it's gonna kind of shrink back and keep its shape. Or at least that's the plan, so we'll see. I'm gonna keep working on these bottom edges here. I'm having a little bit more trouble forming those. You can kind of see the shape it's taken already. Up here, this is real nice. I like that definition in there. And then this, which I thought would be the hardest part, I'm gonna keep working on this. So. All right, so I've been working on a little bit. I'm just going every few minutes, just kind of getting back and making sure it's still set, and just kind of trying to stretch it a little bit more. It's getting there, it's looking good. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put that to the side, and every few minutes I'll go back and address it. But I traced the multi-tool onto some paper here. And while that's just wet molding and kind of doing its own thing, I gotta design something here. So this is gonna be a pretty loose design, and the reason being, once I cut this out how I want it, I basically just wanna lay it on, and I'll be able to shape it and cut it afterwards and then create. So I'm gonna need a flap. And I kind of want it, let's see, it is pretty wide at the top here, so I'm gonna come outside. That's probably too much, maybe somewhere in here. And then I'm gonna put a button on it here, and then I'll have to get one. I'll have to cut one in here later. Let's see, so that'd be my flap. I'm probably gonna carry this out somewhere here for now, and that's what? It's about 1.5 centimeters outside the shape here. And I feel like that probably is gonna be more than enough to where I can still get a stitch line, and I can attach that, glue that down, because I'm gonna want, let's see, I'll probably want at least 1 centimeter on either side, kind of surrounding it. And so that'll give me some, where I can glue it, get some contact cement, connect it down, and then I'll still be able to put a stitch line and then even trace it in closer. Once I get my stitch line and get it down there, I'll be able to get it much closer. So I'm just gonna kind of give a little extra here. And then, yeah, I'll bring the same thing out here. Gotta trace it around. Making this up on the fly right here. I like this. Darn, that's pretty good. All right, and I am gonna dye this. Should I do black? No, I can't do black, then you won't see the etching. Maybe I'll just do a brown, and then I wanna put something in here. All right, I think that'll do it. If not, we might have to make another one. I'm gonna cut this out here, cut this pattern out, and try to get it traced onto my other piece of vegetable tan here. It's actually the same piece that I used there. And then that'll give us a head start for once we get this thing. Should have to dry overnight. Whenever you do a wet mold, it looks like everything I've seen, it's basically saying don't take it off until it's dry. And so we won't do that. So I'm gonna get this all prepped up tonight. And then I can even cut this out and have it ready to go for tomorrow. Shoot, I might want to dye it too while I'm here. Oh, snaps. Look at that. I had a ladybug land on there. Must be this gonna be turning out right. All right. So there is my high-tech pattern right there. Yeah, come on over here. There you go. You can watch. You can watch. You gotta go nowhere. All right. What I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna trace it on. Have y'all seen these heat erasing? They should come in pens, but I keep breaking the pen, so I just got it. But anyway, this is for marking leather, and you can draw on leather, and you get a heat erase. Yeah, come on here. You get a little heat. A heat source. It can be a hair dryer. I use a like a heat gun, but all you do is throw some heat on it, and it goes away. All right. So anytime I do something, I want to see my leather. Choose what I'm gonna use. This looks like a great piece right here. There's very little in the way. There's some, I don't know what those stains are and stuff on there, but I'm gonna use this piece right here. That's a good piece of leather right there. All right, so I still am gonna do it on this side. I'm just gonna trace around here. There we go. It's a nice little piece right there. I'm gonna get this dyed up. Look at my man hanging out over here. My little ladybug. Man, I like how this looks. So I'm gonna keep grinding on this thing here. I'm gonna get this thing to mold on this leather. This vegetable tan is gonna be a whole different story tomorrow. So this is the hardest part I'm dealing with now, is this bottom part. It just isn't stretching as easy, which was kind of expected. But we ain't giving up. Ain't how we do it around here. Reedy River Goods. So I tell my kids all the time, it's like I can't do it. It's like, no. You just haven't found a way yet. Don't tell me you can't. Get out of here. Watch, I'm gonna start loving this and doing everything in wet mold. I do got a couple pistols I need to get done too, so this works out right. I think I'm gonna be heading there next, maybe. I think that'd be cool. I got some deck of cards. Oh, that's what I want to do, some deck of cards. Wet molded, cool deck case, that'd be awesome. Man, I like that. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna dye this other piece of veg tan here, this back piece. So what basically it'll be, once I get this off, I'll put it down on here. I do need to create that flap. I hope that's enough. Shoot, that may not be enough. Ah. I don't think that's gonna cut it. All right, back to the drum board. I gotta get a longer piece here. It's got to carry this entire length and come back down. So that's my mistake. I'm gonna need. Okay. Well, I'm gonna cut a different piece then. I'll get you the final measurements at the end, but yeah, that's not gonna carry it. So where's my veg tan? I might just trace that same piece and then just leave a longer tail. All right. So I'm just going to. Using a Phoebing's leather dye here. It's just a British tan, which I don't. That's what drives me crazy about it. Every time on leather dye, it has the same color brown on there, and there's all these different colors. Anyway, they all look the same in the jar too. I can't tell. So I don't even honestly know what this British tan looks like. Looks like I've used a lot of it, so. But that's good. I think it's just a lighter kind of brown. I'm using these. I don't really like to. I like to use rags usually, but this will be fun. And whenever you're doing a wet mold too, they always say to dye it afterwards. You don't want to try to dye it in between because the dye is going to get in some of these where the water's seeping into and take the place there. So you want to allow this to stretch and do everything it can. All right, I'm going to throw some Resaline on there. I'll give that some time and then I'm going to buff the fire out of it. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit. Maybe I'll come back, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes or so. Try it again, and then I'm just gonna let it dry overnight, see how it does. And then maybe we can get this sucker attached. I think that's gonna be plenty of space, plenty of flap. This thing's gonna look all right, man. All right, we are 24 hours later, and this looks awesome. I'm gonna slide that out. Woo-hoo. So I got my pliers. I might as well just pluck those out. Look at that. That's a perfect form right there. The only thing I regret is not laying it flat. I laid it this way and that was kind of stupid because this is flat, but this would have made a weird indentation. I think it'll be fine because it's gonna actually slide against the back portion here. So I think it'll be, that's why I chose to do it that way, but this is awesome. I think I'm gonna have enough room. It'll be interesting to see how I get it in there, but this is super cool. I'm excited about seeing this mold, see how it holds. I'm probably gonna have to trim it, but let me get these nails out and then we can kind of line it up, glue it, see what we got. Oh, I almost hit myself in the mouth. When I was first starting shoecraft, I was lasting a pair of shoes and I hit myself in the lip. Oh my gosh. At the end here. Look at that. That is super cool right there. So you can still move it and it holds its shape. That's pretty awesome. I'm excited about this. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lay this on here. I'm gonna kind of find a nice sweet spot. I'll get my spacing. Get in here like this. Let's see. Kind of come to the bottom here. See where I'm at my widest point. I'll shorten this up. Maybe put something in here. And we got ourselves a sheath. So I'm basically going to put some barge in here and get this all-purpose cement, lay it in here, then I'm gonna cut it out, stitch it. But you see where I started. I started at the top of these triangles and it shrunk down and it formed very well on there. I'm excited about this, man. I think that's gonna be plenty. I'm gonna have to figure out how much I want to get down. I might go up here. Let's see. This might be the way to go right there. I think that's it right there. That's gonna cover it and hit my snap. And I can just cut off the excess down here. So any of this excess is good. That looks like a good point right there. What I might do right now is put a little center point in there, because I like that a lot. Yeah, that's gonna be it right there. Well, there we go. That's all right. Now I gotta dye this because I haven't done it yet, obviously. It's gotta match. I'm gonna put a button, snap button in here. And I have a little solid brass. Got these from Buckle Guy. This little antique bronze. I think that's gonna look good on that brown. See those in there. Let's see, that's a 10 millimeter spring socket snap button, solid brass. Man, I really like this though. I'm gonna do some more with this wet molding of this vegetable tan leather. This is great, man. I'm gonna have to get this. I'm gonna put a little laser engraving on here. Those of y'all, I was gonna say I was young. I'm 42, coming on 43 here soon. But the kids these days are saying him, I am him. And my son always talking about that. So I'm going to put himmy. He loves that. So I'm going to put himmy down here and a snap button. So I might need to save a little room for the engraving. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to try to put a snap here and then underneath put himmy. As ridiculous as that is. But that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to dye this. We'll attach it with the barge. And then I'll create a stitch line, kind of cut out the way I want it. And I think this is gonna be really, really nice, man. I'm excited about it. But here we go. Let's see what we can do. All right. Put a little laser in there. Little Hemi. It's my little guy. See right here. That's where I'm putting my little snap button. Essentially what I'm gonna do. I got a little number 3 right here. Put a center hole. Took my little wing divider. Found the center. Margin. Bust it. Right there, maybe. Yep. Right there. So I'm gonna put a little mark right there just so I know where to cut. My hole on the inside there. There we go. A brass snap button in there. I'll put the reverse on this side. Ooh. All right. So now I'm gonna find where I like this, and I'm gonna barge cement the fire out of it. Once I do, I'm gonna put my stitch line as close as I can, and then I'll cut around my stitch line, and we'll see where we're at. We're getting there. This thing's gonna be all right. Oh, that's looking awesome, man. Come on. First shot. I'm gonna throw a stitch line on here. I'm probably gonna come out. Usually I go 1/8 of an inch. I'm trying to see how this works. All right, I'm gonna come off that edge. Just one diamond chisel away. I got a 5, what's that? 3, 6. That's a 10 and a 2. Be the dumbest thing I ever done, but we're gonna go for it. Freehand. But this from a guy right here. This little dude, something special. I know everybody says that about your kids, but I mean it. That 2 right there at the end. Ooh, that's money. Finish right on the right spot. So I'm gonna stitch these in here. Let me see. I'm gonna do. That's pretty fresh. We're gonna go with that. I'm gonna go 4 loops right here. This is the Ritza Tiger thread. I never believed in it early on. I thought it was too expensive, overpriced. Then I started using it. That's all I get now. It's good stuff. All right, so I stitched in here. So that's my first time I did this. I stitched this too tight. It's too close to the edge. It's snug. I know it's gonna stretch. I like how this stitching came out. I don't know what happened on this side. I got a little sideways over here. But, all in all, not too bad. I'm not thrilled with it. I wish I'd have done a brown at this point just because it's so much contrast. But I just don't like my errors being pointed out. Right here is where I'm talking about. I almost would have done a 4mm, I think. Because it's so much contrast, it just would be less showing, but it's gonna be all right. What I'm essentially gonna do is take, let's see, this is gonna be about 1/4 of an inch. I'm just gonna trace this around here, and that's where it's gonna be my cut. So I'm just gonna allow the natural shape take me where I need to go. See how quick I grabbed that? I'm ready to go. Ooh. I Look, for a first attempt, that's pretty clean right there. I'm gonna do some finishing on these edges. I don't necessarily like these sharp edges here, but that's probably as close as I need to go. I might cut a little closer here. Finish these edges off. Scab them down. Not scab, what am I talking about? Darn, I like that. Shoot. That's all right. And here's where my little piece on the back is kind of poking through, which I'm fine with. So that's just going to accommodate from there. But that's a cool little piece right there, man. Let me finish off these edges, and I'll get you a finished product here in a minute. Here we are so far. All right. So here it is. I'm pretty happy with this. I will say there's a few things I would have done different. One, you notice there's kind of a little taper right in here. So this is wider than the, it's gonna be hard to pull out. It's gonna stretch, I get it. But it's not that easy to pull out right now. I know it's gonna stretch, but it'll be fine. I think too is, I think I put my stitch line a little too close. I think I ought to push that out a little bit and maybe have a little bit different pattern in here. I might have went with the 4mm because these thin ones trying to work around this silhouette. I'm a worst critic, but I got a stitch or two that just ain't right. But my little guy's gonna love it. Honestly, I'm cool with it. I just dyed the edges, threw a little token all on there. I put a little token all on here just to kind of smooth out this inside, give it a little nice feel to it. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It's my first go around. I certainly learned some stuff, but that's a cool little piece right there. That's gonna last quite some time. Got the little Hemi in there. See, there you go. But yeah, that's a nice piece of vegetable tan leather. That's my first attempt at a wet mold, so I'm pretty happy with it. I think he's gonna like it for a gift. Like I said, there's a couple things I would have done different. Maybe had a more formal design that I was gonna do. I kind of just did a freehand at the end. I'm not thrilled with how it came out. It's a little bit uneven, but it's not bad. I'm gonna try some more things, but being my first go around, I mean, that thing will last forever. It's not that. It's gonna last. It does feel awesome. I love that I dyed it myself. Here's where we started. Here's where we finished. That's pretty awesome. Anytime you can get a piece of scrap leather and make something cool like that, I'm good with it. But yeah, that was a pretty good first attempt. So if y'all try something, let me know. If you got any tips, let me know. But I think this is a good first go around. And I'm excited what we got right here. So I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And I hope we can make a better one next time. How about that? Appreciate y'all stopping by. And thank you for your time.